Michelle Sucar, and I'm going to be presenting about the U.S. skills in comparison to Mexico, more specifically the writing skills. So, an introduction, this presentation is going to compare the legal skills, the writing legal skills in the U.S. and in Mexico, and I'll explore the contrasting styles and understanding both in the legal practice. So, the US and the Mexican legal practices offer very distinct practices. But each system provides a valuable insight for the legal professionals. So let's start with the US principles. The US legal writing emphasizes in clarity and it's very direct. It aims for a conversational ease with a judge, something we in Mexico found extremely rare, but okay. The main elements are concise and direct, the active voice, and an informal tone. So, the writing in the US go straight to the point with no needless words, or repetition. The sentences are very short and typically using an active voice. And also the documents read like a conversation with a judge. So an example is, Your Honor, the statute prohibits this conduct. The defendant's actions match the statute. The court should grant summary judgment. Direct. Now let's talk about the Mexican legal skill. The Mexican legal writing is highly formal and it's very detailed. The documents are very long and stick to strict conventions. And when I say very long, it's unnecessary long. Some of the elements are, well, the formal long, the third person voice, and the official citations. So these documents are extensive, often including full self-introductions. The writing is always in the third person, maintaining objectivity in the case, and requires direct citation from the Constitution, the codes, or wherever official source you're using. So an example is Michelle Sucar, as a defense lawyer of the victim with reserved identity with initials AL and the license to practice law number 5648 and pointing ms@hotmail.com to receive any further notifications, respectfully submits the following statement. According to Article 179, Section 3 of the Penal Code, sexual assault is the act of touching another person or making another person touch another one without their consent. And next, I have an example. So this is my boss's name, so please don't use that, okay? My boss's name. What part he's playing on the case? This on red are the different notaries on the case. So it's their name, what notary they are in, and I don't know why, but I'm missing
the power of attorney.
His email, the way of contact him. And I have another example here. This example is just to show you the citations. So this is in an official document. It's a sentence from sexual assault, but here, if you can see, all of these are the citations. The complete part of the article that says what we are trying to like tell in the case, you know, like in the document. Every single article we chose, it's here. Yes. This is one of the shortest I have. That's an issue.
101 pages.
Yes. Okay. Continue. Oh, sorry. Next. Let's talk about the IRAC, the famous IRAC. So the IRAC formula structures the U.S. legal arguments logically. It guides legal professionals through presenting their case. So we have the I that stands for the issue, the R that stands for the rule, the A that stands for the application or action, and the C that stands for the conclusion. So the issue is, what is the legal question? What's the case about? The rule is when we have identified what rule or what applicable law we're using for the case. And the application is the use of that rule. And the conclusion is to state the desired court action. To state the desired court action. We also have the argument types that include the plain language, the precedent, and the public policy. With Mrs. Simmons, I'm sorry. We also learn how to phrase our sentences. That is the main elements is to omit the unnecessary words, to keep an average of 20 words per sentence. The SVO, which I found really interesting, is the subject, the verb, and the object together, and at the start of the sentence, like at the beginning. And of course, you prefer the active voice, and you have to end with a bang. We also learned that.
Those were Professor Bram's exact words.
Well, like Rodrigo, I also made a comparative chart. So I already explained this, but it's like to summarize it all. So the tone in the US, it's informal, extremely informal, and it's like a conversation with a judge. In Mexico, it's exactly the opposite. It's very formal and in third person. The length. Here in the US, it's very short and the sentences, 20 words. In Mexico, unnecessary long. The voice. Here in the US, active. In Mexico, passive. The structure. You guys use the IRAC formula. We use a formal structure and a full introduction of what we're talking about. And then the sources, you guys have the statute, the case law, and the public policy. We have constitution, codes, and all the official sources. Then, citing the law. This is extremely amusing to me. You're gonna see why. To paraphrase, you guys paraphrase, cite, or use the cases. We have to fully quote the articles. I showed you before. Then, okay. Here's my opinion about what Mexico can take from you guys and what you can take from us. So in Mexico, we should definitely write shorter. We should be more direct and concise with our writing. The long introductions and repetition in our system make it extremely difficult. This is a picture of the Mexican Judicial Branch Office. These are all the documents one office has. I was here for 1 hour and a half because I couldn't find my case. You guys in the US, I think your clarity is refreshing. It's shocking as well, though. Okay. I think some formality is necessary because at the end of the day, you're talking to a judge. That's my opinion. The official documents require some respectful writing. That's what I think. So, my conclusion. I was actually talking to Miss Simmons, with Professor Simmons. She was talking about how the law students have to change their skills when they enter law school. In Mexico, we take a lot of time to get the idea of how to write our documents because we have many requirements. but all the documents are different. So it's hard. For us in Mexico, it's really hard to write the perfect document. Our bosses are always changing like some words, but okay. Another thing I found really interesting is your citing. I don't know how you guys can cite cases. Like, that's weird to me. We cite exactly what the law says, what's written. How can you, well, I'm not gonna say anything, but it's pretty interesting to me because, I don't know, in Mexico it's what the law says and what the law says. We should like explore more options, but we don't have any. We have to cite the Constitution, the official sources, and that's it. But it's funny, you guys cite cases. It's interesting. So, well, thank you. I hope that this discussion has provided my valuable opinion into your legal practices and our legal practices.